Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Jay Hollingshed, your personal high performance mindset coach and public speaker, coming to you once again with another episode of my 7 pillars of mental performance in 365 days. Thank you so much for tuning in. Tonight's episode is consecutive episode 351 of 365. Today is Monday, day 2 of the week. We will be discussing pillar number 2, as always, confidence and motivation. If I were to title this particular talk, it would be A Confident Will to Do. A confident will to do. So let me give a quick shout out to everybody that's tuning in real quick. We got family tuning in from Memphis as usual. First of all, my wife tuning in right here in Columbus, Ohio. Thank you, babe. I appreciate you. My daughter's tuning in. Jaleesa, Bree. We got Gwendolyn Jones Henderson. What's up, cuz? I appreciate you for tuning in. Thank you so much. Also, my big brother AJ, I appreciate you for tuning in as well. We got Daryl McConnell in the house. I thank you, Daryl. I appreciate you, man. All of those that are watching this on repeat, thank you. The repeat love is always the best love because it comes back over and over and over. It's the boomerang effect. Send out the love, it gets reciprocated, and it comes back in. So thank you so much for that. I truly appreciate it and appreciate you for the love. Now, let's go ahead and get right into the lesson for this evening. We're talking about confidence and motivation and a confident will to do. Okay? So, starting out, I want to share with you a story. Earlier this week, I was listening to legendary motivational speaker Les Brown, and he was telling a story. He was telling the following story. There were 2 young boys, and they were playing out on an icy pond or a lake that has frozen over. They were playing on this lake in a nearby neighborhood. And they were doing what little boys do. They were going out there having fun, running, sliding, and skating on the ice. And they were, having a lot of fun doing this thing. They were trying to maintain a balance, the whole 9. They were just enjoying themselves as little kids do. Now, they came across a weak spot on the ice, but they didn't realize it was a weak spot until it was too late. They were already right up on it, standing on the ice. And it was a sheet of thin ice that they were standing on. Next thing you know, the ice broke beneath one of the boys, and one of the boys fell into the icy water beneath the sheet of ice that they were standing on. So when this happened, the other young fellow who sat there and witnessed this, he went into a frantic state. And then he thought, with only seconds to spare, he had saw his friend just get sucked under by the current, and he looked through the ice and saw his friend moving with the current. So with only seconds to spare, this little fella runs up in a nearby tree, climbs in the tree, breaks off a branch, a huge branch with all the little strength and body weight that he has. So he breaks off this branch and he brings this branch to where he saw his friend, where his friend was still at under the ice. And he takes this heavy tree limb and starts beating on that ice and beating on that ice and just repeatedly beating on this ice until finally he broke through the ice and was able to rescue his friend. Now, after all of this had happened, the emergency crews came, the rescue workers, the whole 9, everybody came around, the parents and everybody. All of the adults were asking the same question, including the emergency and rescue people. They were asking the same question. How was this possible? This young little boy breaks off a branch so huge and was able to use it to persistently pick it up and slam it against the ice, pick it up and slam it against the ice repeatedly over and over to break through the ice and rescue his friend. Now, when this happens, it seemed like an impossible act for such a small little boy. So the question was being asked around, how do you think he did it? How do you think he did it? They were speculating. Finally, an older gentleman came up and said, I know exactly how he did it. Nobody told him that he could not do it. Nobody told him he couldn't do it. Nobody planted that negative seed in his mind. Nobody brought up their own limitations and placed their own limitations on this young fella. So when this young fella saw in his mind what he had to do, he went about it and did it. Nobody stopped him. Nobody placed their limitations on him, telling him what he could and couldn't do, because he knew what he could do, because he got instructions spiritually given to him in his mind. So, and the thing is, he saw the idea of what to do. So when we as people get this vision or this image or this, imagery and visualization, we get this image or we visualize an idea. Those are not just ideas. They are instructions for your next steps. And the thing is, being that those instructions came to you from an internal perspective, they came to you in your mind. So there's an internal perspective. That's the way you received your instructions, your vision, your image. They were internally given to you. So the energies that generate with those instructions are your energies that push you for an intrinsic motivation. Those energies coupled with that instruction become an intrinsic motivation, to where you are fueled from the inside from what you see. You are fueled and inspired by what you know you can do. And how do you know you can do it? You saw it take place up here first. So all you have to do is go and repeat what you saw. Like I said in one of my other talks, it's your YouTube. Your YouTube is up here. Your tube is where you saw it happen. All you do is repeat the action. Like if you're watching somebody on YouTube give you an instruction on how to do something, well, you saw it here in your personal tube, your YouTube. You saw it happen here. You can replay that and watch it over and over again. That is your intrinsic motivation, because it's internally. You know it's possible because you see it happen. Now, if you go to YouTube on your computer and you repeat the action that you see somebody do, then quite naturally, you're going to produce the results that you see on the YouTube channel. So you do the same thing here. You see yourself wanting to lose 50 pounds, 100 pounds. You see yourself wanting to be stronger. You see yourself wanting to win a national championship, get your sales records up. Anything you want to do, you visualize it. You have an imagination of it. You want to imagine it, and you see it up here. You see it being possible. Do the same thing you do when watching YouTube. Get that intrinsic motivation going. You see it internally, so you know it's possible. Repeat the same efforts you saw here in your mind. Once you do that, you will repeat the creation of what you saw in your mind. You will manifest it. You will make it real. So that's the intrinsic motivation, your will to do, your internal, your confident will to do. As the little boy was, he was confident that he could do that. Nobody told him he couldn't do it. He saw it. It happened. He ran up the tree, got the limb, and he did what he had to do to save his friend. So when you go about what you see in your mind, remove all negativity. Everybody that can possibly tell you what you cannot do. Remove all people with their limiting beliefs that want to place them on you. They don't need to be around. So when you go about, or before you make your intrinsically motivated moves, make sure that no one is around to place their limitations and fears on you. That's all that I have for today. Consecutive episode 351 of 365. I'm Jay Hollingshead, your personal high performance mindset coach and public speaker. Every performance you give results in an effort or an excuse. Let's make the effort. Be well, stay blessed, and through love, be a blessing. God bless.